Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Annette J. Morris, the CEO and owner of Go Getter LLC, and your host for the Mind TV series. Thank you all for joining us this week. As we always say, each and every week, we bring you a new bomb entrepreneur or bomb woman or bomb male that is teaching you how they move their lives in new directions from their experiences, from their businesses, from their career. And this week is nothing different. So, who do we have with us this week? I'll allow her to introduce herself. Take it away, Mandy.
Thank you, Annette. Hi, yes, I am Mandy Nicholson, and I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist, I'm an author, and a creative retreat owner. And I live in Scotland, in the UK, and I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money.
Absolutely. That is wow. I love it. I absolutely love it and love your accent. So thank you for joining us this week. Tell us a little bit more about how you got started in business and then how did you decide that you wanted to cater to women with your business?
Well, I tootled off to university when I left school and did a degree in art and design, but then I couldn't get a job in the creative space. So I did what most creatives do and get a proper job. I was good at that proper job. I spent decades as a senior leader, a divisional executive, managing global retail companies like IKEA.
Okay.
So that gave me a lot of business experience, but there was a void because as a creative, when you're not doing something creative, you're not following your passion really. You can be as
Correct.
good, you can be as good at the proper job as you like, but there's always a void.
Yes.
So in 2018, my late husband gave me a real hard shove towards my passion and said, look, life's too short. He had a life-limiting condition, and he said, just do it. Just go and build a creative business. Use all that you know. So I did, and I launched my creative business in 2019. Then COVID hit, didn't it? In March 2020, my husband died. My husband died in the April 2020, but which was awful. But he taught me how to live. And I decided that, the one thing I really had was this new business, and I hit 6 figures in 2020. I've continued to grow the business. I have now 13 different income streams coming into my business, and I help women from all over the world. And I chose women because I'd worked all my life with men. And as a senior leader, I saw a lot of women in lesser roles, and it was my colleagues were mainly men. And I decided if I was going to make an impact, then I would help the women.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love it. So my target audience is women as well. So that's why I asked you that, because a lot of times people will ask me like, how did you target women? I'm like, it's simple. I'm a woman. It's not an in-depth meaning or whatever. It's because I'm a woman. And so typically, like, I know the plight of women. Like, we tend to work in jobs. We get paid less than men. A lot of times we're working a lot harder to try to prove ourselves. And then on the outside of like our work lives, we have our everyday lives. So we still like wives, have to take care of the home, have to nurture the kids and make sure they're taken care of. So we're like nonstop workers, you know what I mean? And so a lot of times we are in jobs and positions that we are not really passionate about, but we feel like we have to maintain that in order to maintain like our outside lives. So the thing about it is, I would like to help women to do what they love to do, so we're not as drained in life, because we do so much sacrificing more than anybody else, more than any other gender, which is only one other gender. But it's we do way more sacrificing, which means like I don't feel like we get to experience the epitome of happiness in life, because we have to sacrifice. Well, we've been told that we have to sacrifice so much for the sake of the kids, the husband, the household, and all of these other things or whatever. So I'm truly passionate about working with women as well. So that's what made me ask you that question.
There's so many layers, isn't there? Like, you've just given loads of layers there for women. And when I get them, when they come to me, when they're at the point where they're like, I just don't know what else to do, I start by peeling back the layers, because they've been told by society, by parents, by employers, by whoever, that they must be in this subservient role. But all the things that you said about women there, how we multitask and do all these fantastic things, it makes them incredible entrepreneurs when they've got guidance.
Yes.
How to pull it all together. So that's why I love working with women.
Absolutely. Okay. And you speak my love language when you say you had 13 streams of revenue in your business. Share with us how the streams of revenue that are in your business and how did you get to, because one of the things that I also teach my entrepreneurs, I teach them streams of revenue, but not multiple businesses, right? Because you can have one business with multiple streams of revenue.
Yeah.
So I was glad when you say that as well. Again, like that's my love language. So tell us, like, how did you get to 13 streams of income? What are those 13 streams and how do you work them, right? Because a lot of people tend to think that means you working physically 13 different ways, and that's not necessarily so let's talk about the streams of income.
Well, I think it's really important, again, in your business to have layers. My words for 2023 are synergy and connection, because everything I do is connected. I like to understand where it sits on the customer journey and how it sits in terms of who I'm serving, because although I've got 13 different income streams, they all serve the same ideal client. So, you know, it starts with books because I'm an author. So my book is my story. It's called The Life I Won. And it's about how I lost everything in 2009 and rebuilt my life, bought my dream home for cash. And now I'm in my mini castle in Scotland. So I've moved. There's been a massive journey. So it's actually, I landed a 3-book deal with Austin Macaulay. To actually, so the first one is published and out there. So that's one income stream. I've got another book. So these are semi-passive really, because once you've got books, it's about marketing, isn't it? They're there, they sit there all the time, earning royalties. So that's kind of that side of it. And then this year I've published a journal, a year planner, and a notebook in a range with my art on the cover. So that's another income stream. So there's all the literary stuff. And then I'm an artist. So obviously there's my original work. There's prints and cards and products from my work. So there's that side of an income stream. Then we've got the courses. So my signature program, the Creative Mastermind, which is the premium product, I suppose, in my business. That's an investment for women. That's a 12-month program. And then I have another 5 programs. So again, semi-passive income streams, all with lead magnets, all with, you know, sales pages, all just working in the background all the time.
Correct.
And then I've got the retreats and bed and breakfast. So I've got like my mini castle, which is my bricks and mortar side of the business. So I do creative retreats and I do bed and breakfast outside of the creative retreats, and I sell product here. So I sell my work from here. So it just all is connected. I'm currently looking at launching a children's books in the new year. I've got a membership launching next year, and I'm looking to buy the salon next door to do a coffee shop and art gallery. But it's all art gallery. It's all connected. It's all creative.
Yes.
It all flows from. I call the Creative Mastermind, my signature program, I call it the mothership, that it all kind of flows into there and out from there. It's connected. You've got to have that.
Right, absolutely. And so when you say passive income stream, and this is what I explain to people as well, because if you have by trade, I'm a therapist, right? Which I transitioned from being a therapist into this entrepreneurship space as a more of a mindset business coach, right? So I work with female entrepreneurs, getting them to understand how they can profit from what they're passionate about, right? And then we convert that into a 5 to 7 figure income generating business. But getting them to understand, like, you as an entrepreneur, because you still have to realize, like, we still have all of these outside roles in addition to being an entrepreneur, right? So you still have to be a mom. If you're a wife, then you still have to be a wife. You still have to be all of these things as in addition to being an entrepreneur. And one of the things that I started realizing is that a lot of times we get into this entrepreneurship space because, oh, it gives me freedom and flexibility so I can do this with my kids and this for my elderly mom and XYZ. But once we get behind the laptops and in the business, we start getting drowned by the business. You know what I mean? And forget that we wanted the freedom and flexibility, right? So we like confined to this laptop almost 20 hours a day sometime, right? Losing sleep, all of this other stuff. And then I'm always operating from the mindset of a therapist. I'm like, what are you doing for mental health? What are you doing for self-care? What are you doing for, XYZ? Because we can compromise our mental well-being and physical well-being just by doing that, staying up too many hours, not getting the proper rest, not taking care of ourselves, all of those things. And so when you say like the income streams that are on automation, I want to talk about that a little bit more, because people don't tend to realize, like, you don't have to work yourself into a frenzy in order to generate revenue. You have way more passive income streams than you have streams that you are working. I mean, you look refreshed. You know what I mean? So you don't look frazzled and stressed out. So have 13 streams.
No, I literally work 20 hours a week in this business. I created a freedom business because that's what I wanted. Anything over and above that is from choice. So if I'm working more than 20 hours a week, I'm in the studio painting. I don't even think of that as work. For me, that's about well-being, and that's about connecting with myself. But it is about those planned launches for things that you do, the lead magnets, the way that you can get that income just coming in, your email list, vital things for passive income stream.
So when you say like what is your launch process? Because if you're so are you running the ads consistently on those passive income streams, or do you have like a launch process that you go through to lead people to it? Like, what does that look like?
So I do 5-day challenges 4 times a year, so quarterly. That's how I launch my creative mastermind.
Okay.
So we do a full 5-day challenge. I launch the mastermind in there. I get the women signed up. So I only have an intake every quarter. That's the main bulk of the income. Outside of that, I've got a big email list into the thousands. So that is working all the time. I have an ops manager who schedules all of my promotions and launches. We do other launches. So we did a Black Friday launch. Black Friday brought us in a few £1,000 just by putting a couple of products out. And we have a launch process for things like that. We go 7 to 10 days before the launch, high touch social media, email campaigns, open the doors to the launch. Sometimes I just launched my planner workbook, planner journal and notebook with a free planning and goal setting workshop. So we got people signed up for the free planning and goal setting workshop. I launched the planner and the journal in that. We did a £4,000 launch in that, on that one product through the free workshop plus the email. Okay. So it's about having a strategy for each individual thing and doing, for me, working less sometimes can create more.
Yes.
If you do the right thing to bring people in. So
correct.
Constantly nurturing my audience through social media and through email with regular daily value posts. And I've got Facebook group, you're nurturing your audience in there. You've got ideal clients in there, ideal clients on your email list. It's all about making sure that you show up enough and making sure that you're sending out offers and asking for the sale on a regular basis on automation. Yeah.
And one of the things I've realized, and I don't know where it comes from, because I identified it in myself sometimes as well. Like, a lot of people are scared to ask for the sale. I heard you say, like, ask for the sale. Like, what is the issue? And you work with women. So what do you feel like the issue is with asking for the sale?
Well, they always say to me, oh, it feels icky. I don't like to do it. And I'm like, but people do it every day. Look at your email inbox. People are asking to buy from them every single day. Yes. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. Do you hate them for it? No, you don't. You just accept that that's what happens. So you need to go into that behavior.
Absolutely.
And ask for the sale and not be frightened to do it. But there is a lot of fear there, isn't there? There's a lot of fear.
You think it's as a result of like feeling rejected? That's some personal work that has to be done. Like, what do you feel like that comes from?
I think they feel like people are going to judge them, or that feel that like they're being pushy or whatever it is. It's that fear of being judged, or people are going to think I'm, a bit of a spammy pammy or whatever it is. It takes a lot to get my creative clients past those hurdles. Yes. Because they're not used to it. They're not used to doing it.
And so you work with them like mindset wise to get them over that particular hurdle, to understand like asking for the sale is okay.
Yeah, because that's why my program is 12 months. Because what I've found through the market research is the women that I work with need me for 12 months. They need the online program. So I've got a full online teaching platform supported group coaching, one-to-one coaching. I have a mindset coach works for me, and I have a tech expert. So we've got them covered. But the first 4 modules of the program are about mindset, limiting beliefs, shiny object syndrome, comparisonitis, all those things that my clients do, and how I can get them past those things before I can even get them into business. Because if they go into business with those barriers, they're not going to be able to ask for the sale, and they're not going to be able to understand the strategy.
Correct. Correct. Absolutely. So that is a pretty profound program if you're doing that. Because one of the things that, again, as I realized, like as being a therapist as well, like a lot of the women that I work with definitely need both the mindset work as well as teaching them how to be an entrepreneur, setting up the business XYZ. Because a lot of them, what happens, and I'll use, for example, like when they come into my program, a lot of them, even if they already have a business, like their products or services are so low price because they're scared to put a price tag to it, you know, based on what, because people can't afford to pay for that, or people ain't gonna pay for it, you know, whatever it is that they tell themselves. They start lowballing themselves and having services that are so cheap and inexpensive. Like you can't survive as a full-time entrepreneur charging $25, you know, for whatever the service is. But getting them to overcome like that mindset of, you know, people can't afford this, so I'm gonna make it really, really cheap, or I'm gonna try to be cheaper than my competitor XYZ or whatever, so that I can sell this product or service. It takes a lot of mindset work to get them to transition and understand their worth and the value of what it is that they're offering, so that the clients can pay them what they're worth.
Oh, honestly, that with knobs on, really, with artists, because most of the artists that come to me are charging, you know, pennies for the canvases that they're creating, that are so wonderful and so bespoke and so individual, but they're so scared to move their price point. It is untrue. The job I have to do to get them into the thousands and even into the hundreds with these things is like, but once I get them there and they sell the first one, they get it.
Then they're comfortable. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So tell us, I know you said you came from the corporate side, you were working with a lot of males, and now you've transitioned into working with women, which you're passionate about. How did that transition help to move your life in itself and move in new directions?
Well, I think when you allow yourself to follow what you are really passionate about, what brings you joy, what actually fills you up in life, it doesn't feel like work. And if you can set up a business based on what you truly love doing, honestly, I jump out of bed every morning. I'm like, yay, I get to go to work. You know, this is amazing. So but do you know what it is? The hard thing is the decision to just, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? And if they can get past the what ifs and just follow it. So that transition for me, it didn't happen overnight. It happened, you know, although my late husband gave me a shove, but now I see this endless path of things that I can do. So I'm filled with joy. It's a huge change, but I think most women just find that too scary. I think that's the big thing. Yeah. It's changed my life completely. So when I launched my business, I had my first client signed up before I even had written the first 3 months of the program.
Wow.
I brought in a beta tester. You know, it's an expensive, it's a premium program, so it's not cheap. So I brought in a beta tester, and I had my second client signed within weeks. And
wow.
I realized very quickly how they were growing really, you know, really quickly. So that gave me confidence in what I had. And I've changed so much. I've almost rewritten the entire program. My thinking has just gone through the roof. There's no glass ceiling now, I suppose. That's the biggest transition. I don't, even buying the salon next door for a coffee shop, the timing isn't right. When I bought the house here, so if you think, I was living in 2009 in a council house. I'd lost everything. That's my story. I went from a corporate job, senior leader, to losing everything and ended up at rock bottom, bankrupt, living in social housing as a single mum. And over the next 10 years, I rebuilt my life, but I still didn't follow my creativity. I went into easy jobs, hospitality, cleaning even, to make money. And then when I decided to go into my creativity, it changed everything, and it changed my life for the better. So bought my dream home for cash in 2019. Gary died in 2020, decided to just follow the biggest possible dream I could have in 2021. So I'd put a castle on my vision board. I wanted a castle in Scotland so I could run creative retreats.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a 10-year plan because it was £3 million for the castle that was on my vision board. I costed it. I signed up with the estate agents and everything. I was going for that castle. But you've got, when you ask the universe sometimes and you go for your passion and your joy, sometimes really big things happen.
Yeah.
So in 2021, a year after Gary died, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to sell this house and move to Scotland. Then I can feel the goal more deeply. I can be where I want to be with this castle. So I put the house on the market. I sold it the same day for the full asking price. It just was like that. Sold it the same day.
Wow.
So I had to come to Scotland and look at houses, and I was looking at houses and I came across this one, and it's an ex-bank.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 7 bedrooms. And when I looked at it and looked at the castle on my vision board, it was like a miniature version. So that's why I call it my mini castle, because it had the same sweeping staircase and the same walled garden and the same red stone that it was built from. So I now own this, and I've renovated it. I bought it for cash, I renovated it, and I'm running retreats from here. And I've got 3 rooms that I run the retreats from: a Van Gogh room, a Monet room, and a Picasso room. So it's all art themed. Mm-hmm. And it's a huge property. And I'm like, you know what? I'm living what was on my vision board right now. The universe didn't make me wait 10 years. It just gave me the version I could afford.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It
gave me what was there. Yeah, it gave me what was there right now, and I said, yes, let's do it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you do vision boards every year. I love vision boards. I do vision boards. I work on mine like the very last week of December, going into January, like absolutely every year. So people ask me like, how do I manifest all of the things? Because in a year, I get so much covered in a year time frame. They're like, how do you get so much covered? How do you accomplish so much? I'm like, I live and breathe by vision boards, because I do believe like when you create a vision board, you're creating your life in pictures. And so when you see it, right? Because I always put it in a place where I'm going to see it constantly, right? So when you see it, it's just, you take the necessary actions to manifest it, right? I put the vision board together. Then I do my action plan strategy, and then I map it out, because I have planners as well. So I map it out in a planner, like this one I'm gonna do every week, this one I'm gonna do every month, these type of things. And when I do that like that, I get to manifest like at least 90% of my vision board, right? At least 90%, because sometimes I get into other things and start manifesting stuff that wasn't even on the vision board, right? So that causes me to like the 10% that was there. Okay, maybe I need to roll that over into next year, or maybe that wasn't meant for me to accomplish right now. Maybe that's like a 5-year goal, whatever it is. But like this TV series, this wasn't on my vision board. It just kind of fell into my lap, right? So it's a lot of things that manifest that don't even make it to the vision board. But I love vision boards. Do you do a vision board every year?
Every year. I do 2 actually. I do a strategic one and a feelings one. So how do I want to feel? And I always paint the feelings one. I paint how I want to feel. And then the strategic one has the photographs on. But behind me, you will see a massive mind map. So that's like 4 foot worth of, I mind map it out visually, so I can see how many people do I need to serve on each income stream in order to make the money. That I literally crunch the numbers on there as well. So the vision board, the strategic vision board, I need to know how many women do I need to serve on the creative mastermind next year in order to right, and so how many do I need to bring in per launch, and how many books do I need to sell? So that's all on the mind. And like you, and then vision board, then into the planner, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and it's that strategy and that structure that helps you manifest exactly what you want.
Absolutely. Yes. So I am so glad that you said that, because again, that just kind of reiterates the direction that I try to encourage my clients and then other people that I'm talking to as well. So naturally, that's going to be like my conversation over the next couple of weeks, talking to my audience and my tribe, just to say like, look, what are you all doing for 2023? What do you want to accomplish? How are you strategizing? How are you planning those type of things or whatever? Because again, I feel like you can't manifest the life that you want if you don't plan it, right? If you don't strategize, if you don't have a vision and you just willy-nilly, then I just don't see that you're going to accomplish the things that you definitely want to accomplish in life. You just can't.
No, I say that to women all the time. No plan means you're not going to do anything. You know, it really is true. Failing to plan is planning to fail. It's not going to happen.
Exactly. I was just about to say, the old people used to tell me, if you fail to plan, then plan to fail. Yeah. So if you had an option to leave the audience with any words of encouragement or anything, leave them with something.
Well, I think, think about the thing that does bring you the most joy in life. What would fill you up every day? If you were doing that every day, every single day in life as your job and getting paid for it, how would you feel about that? You would feel so much more fulfilled, and you should and deserve to be fulfilled and happy in this life. You only get one.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And tell the audience where they can follow you, what platforms, how they can stay in touch with you.
You can find me on literally every platform, and you can link into all of those through my website, mandynicholson.co.uk. You could even find my retreats page on there. Everything is on that one place, and it takes you to all my social media sites. So do look me up. Do join my network.
Okay. We have one more minute. Tell them a little bit about the retreats. Like, who are the retreats for? How often do you host the retreats? Tell us just a little bit about that.
The retreats, I do 7-day retreats in a year and 7 4-day retreats in a year. They are for women. So there'll be 3 women here and me. You get me 24/7 for 7 days or 4 days. All your food is included, all your art equipment. And it is the biggest up level and transformation that you can get, literally. The women that have described it as magic, or they've gone home feeling like a teenager again, reconnecting with that. When you're a teenager and you can take on the world, that power. So it's a powerful, transformational experience.
Okay. So it's a transformational retreat.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a wellness retreat.
No, well, it is, but you would be painting, you will be creating here with me. You're in Scotland, surrounded by forests and mountains and, lochs and near the beach. We will be painting, we will be creating. Fantastic.
Okay, great. That sounds exciting. That definitely sounds exciting. So I so appreciate you, Mandy, for coming join us on the Mind TV series, and for being our guest today. Everything that you have said has definitely resonated with me, and I know it's going to resonate with my audience because they know how I feel about vision boards, and then all the things that you said, empowering women, helping them to make profits from their passion, all the things. Because again, my business is a passion-based business as well. So the more I work it, the more I don't feel like I'm doing any work at all, because it's absolutely what I love to do. And I can hear it in your voice that you do what you love to do on a consistent basis as well. So congratulations to you on moving your life in new directions through your entrepreneurship venture, following your passion and making profit from that, and then helping other women to do the exact same thing that you have the opportunity to do. So I thank you for giving back to women and making income and impact at the same time, and appreciate you for joining us on the Mind TV series. Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. As you know, same time, same place next week. I'm going to bring another extraordinary entrepreneur, whether it's a male or female, I don't know yet. You'll see next week when you join us. But until then, same time, same place. We appreciate you all. Join us again next week. Thank y'all. Until then, see y'all later. Bye-bye.